Now I want to talk about stage 2 of alcohol use disorder, alcoholism. And this is when you've really crossed over from stage 1 into stage 2. You've crossed the line. Okay, it's no longer just something that you did with your friends as a kid, maybe in high school and college, the peer pressure years. And now maybe you're in your mid-20s, late 20s, and you've created a habit now. It's become consistency. You drink 4, 5, 6, 7 days a week, or you binge drink on the weekends past the point of what's really socially acceptable, and people are carrying you out of bars or social situations, and it's becoming a repeat problem. Okay, you've become emotionally and maybe even physically dependent on the alcohol in stage 2. But the key thing here is that you've created a habit. You've crossed the line from stage 1 into stage 2, and now you're on the path of full-blown alcoholism. And one thing I really want to point out here is I want people to understand is just because you drink doesn't mean that you're going to become an alcoholic. The vast majority of people, even in their teenage years, college years, or maybe if they have trauma later in life, are not necessarily going to become alcoholic or alcohol dependent. This is a person that's crossed the line, and there's something a little bit deeper going on. Maybe it was family culture, maybe it was trauma in youth, maybe, there is a hereditary issue. Maybe your grandparents drank, your great-grandparents, your parents, you're immersed in it. And you're just kind of going down the road because you're surrounded with that culture. Well, if you find yourself being a regular at a bar, and your friends also do drink with you, that might be an indication. So you can really define if you have an issue, but maybe sometimes the people that you associate with. Okay, because the 5 people who are most closest to us tend to be the greatest influence. And if your 5 closest friends are sitting across the bar, you might want to rethink who your friends are, because they may not necessarily be friends. They're fair weather friends. They're good for that evening, but that's the extent of it. And that's just one thing that you might find and discover when you're a phase 2 alcoholic. This also might be the phase where you begin to hide things because you don't want people in your life recognizing that you have an issue. Now, you've created a consistency, but what are you going to do with those 6 or 8 or 10 or 12 pack of beer that you drink every night? So you got to hide them. Maybe you're going to hide them underneath the bed or the couch, in the trunk of your car, in your tool shed, in the rafters, in the gutter, in the cellar, in the flower box. Okay, if you're a woman, they tend to drink, honestly, they tend to drink Chardonnay or wine or vodka. So you're going to have bottles that you're going to have to get rid of. You just don't want people to recognize that you have an issue. You're not ready for that. You're not ready for to have to face what you think is a firing range, when in reality, people are really concerned for you, and yet you don't want them to know. You don't want to be found out yet, because you're kind of on the fence of whether or not you have a problem or not, even though you've created this consistency. The fact of the matter is that you're caught in this web. You are now caught in the web. The thing is, the web isn't as strong as it will be in future. So those glasses of wine that became bottles in stage 2, stage 3, those bottles might become much bigger bottles, and then eventually anything you can get your hands on. And it's not even about the alcohol at that point. Recognizing that you have created a consistent issue in your life, that's the first thing that you have to admit. And you have to be able to admit that you have a problem. If you're in denial, and if you're deflecting to everyone else, it's everybody else's fault. You don't have a problem drinking. Everybody else has a problem that you're drinking. And, it's not really an issue. I can work. I still make money. And you use labels like functioning alcoholic or high functioning. It's all nonsense. It's all deflection and denial. And if you're using that in your vocabulary, I hope you get help. I hope there's people in your life that love you enough to step in and get you help, because continuing will be stage 3, which will be the next video. And again, if you've been following me, you understand I have a coaching program. Please click on the link above, schedule a call in the link tree. You go to the Calendly. Usually it takes about an hour with the Zoom call. We do a deep dive into what's going on with you. I like to help the family and the alcoholic and bring it all together. It becomes we are going to get through this together, rather than you're an alcoholic, go fix yourself and come back to the family, okay? It's very involved. It's very customized. And again, please like, share, and comment. We also have the Facebook group called There's an Alcoholic in the Family. And I also go live Monday through Friday right around 6 o'clock, although I'm taking vacation from that till the 21st. And again, thanks for listening.